Hey, so today I thought I would do a little bit different type of deconstruction because I haven't done any of these videos for you for a while. So today what I'm going to be talking about is how I got an idea that I've used in several workshops now. So I've tested it out, make sure it works before I tell you about it. Um, and it actually combines two different things. One is a book I was reading, I got an idea, and the other was a game that I played. So I've talked about before playing different games, deconstructing them, giving you ideas based on the gameplay. But today I thought this one mixes it up just a little bit differently. So the book that I had read was called Game On, and it's by Kevin Bell. There's a couple of books by that title, but this is the one by Kevin Bell. And the reason I really liked this one was that he goes through several different examples from higher education, and it does these case studies and it debriefs how they used gameful experiences, gamification games in their classes, how it went, what worked, what didn't work, and that sort of thing. So I'll talk more about the book another time probably, but for today, the idea came from one of the professors, and he had said that at an event they had these cards that they put around, and they'd taken compound nouns and split them up. So a word like rainbow, something like that. So you have rain and you have bow. So those were on two separate cards. They had placed the cards in different locations, and when people found them, they were supposed to go and find the matching word that matched up to make a compound noun. So it's a nice little networking, interactive thing. Honestly, I don't remember all the details exactly how he used it, but I was fascinated by this idea of pairing people up because this is often not a problem. It's not a difficult thing when you're running in-person workshops. But let's face it, what usually happens if you say, find a partner? Usually the person turns to the person next to them and that's their partner. And you sort of miss this lovely opportunity to get people to mix around a little bit. So that idea appealed to me, that it would be a nice way to mix people around. And the same thing with making other size groups. So obviously you can do the count off 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you're all in group 1, you're in group 2, group 3. You can do all sorts of variations. But again, I was like, how could we do this just a little differently? All right, so that's part of the idea. And again, this is what I really encourage people to do is get ideas from various places and you put them together. And that's where the creativity is. It's the putting together these ideas that came from completely different places and putting them together to make something new and interesting. So that's one piece of the puzzle. Now, the other thing was I played a game called Iota, which is just a little tiny card game. But basically, there's a number of games that are fairly similar. It's a small card game, and you have to match up shapes and colors and work within certain limitations and that sort of thing. So that was the other piece of it. So combining the two ideas, I made a prototype, and this is my original prototype I'm going to show you today. I've made some other copies of it, excuse me, in different sessions that I've run, but this is the original one. So they're not perfect. It's a prototype. That's the point. What I did was I said, okay, well, let me start with this idea of the words. So I have cards that have different words on them, okay? Like bug and devil and dare, and there's all sorts of things. So you might have noticed, okay, dare, I could combine dare, from that way, dare and devil, and make a daredevil. Okay, so that's the point. So at the beginning of a class, what I could do was I would give out, or I would have people pick a card from a container pick random cards. And then at the beginning, when I want them to pair up, I would have them go find their partner based on matching up the words. Now, the beautiful thing about that is they're going to talk to a bunch of people on the way to finding their partner because they got to compare words. Oh, no, yours isn't a match. Okay, nice to meet you, but you're not my partner for this activity, and so forth. So it got people really mixing and mingling in a way that often doesn't happen when you just tell people to pick a partner. Even if you tell them to just pick a partner of somebody in the room that they don't know or someone that they have not worked with yet during, maybe if it's an all-day session, pick someone you haven't worked in a group with yet, something like that. So anyway, that was part of it. But I was like, you know what? That's just one piece of it. There's a whole bunch of other things we could do with it. So what I ended up doing, because sometimes you maybe want to pick a random number, or you want to have all of the people that have, I could split a group really quickly. If everybody had a number assigned to them, I could split them odds and evens or something like that. Or I could pick a random number to do an activity or to win a prize or whatever it is. So you might notice that these cards, I put a number. So there's a number behind the word. See, that one's number 17. So I made a set of 24 cards. So they were numbered 1 through 24. That was because oftentimes I don't have, if I had more people than that, I could use a second set of cards and we could play with it. But this was, again, a prototype. So I said, I run a lot of sessions that are between 16 to 24 people. So, 20 people or so. So it was a good number to start with. So that was the reasoning behind that. Now, that wasn't good enough. I was like, okay, so that's 2 ways that I can quickly identify people and have people move around the room and things like that. But then what I did was, on the back of the cards, taking the idea from the game that had different shapes and colors, I have 4 different colors. Okay, so there's red, blue, green, and yellow. So the back of the cards were one of 4 colors. All right, so I could quickly then tell people, look at the back of your card, and that breaks people into 4 groups very quickly. If you're red, go over here. If you're blue, go over here. That sort of thing. So it made it a nice way to quickly divide the group up. And it didn't even matter if I didn't use all 24 cards because, okay, I'm still going to end up with an odd number of people in different groups. So if there was only, 20 people that day or whatever, it's okay if one group had 4 people and one group had 3 and whatever. It still got people talking to different people and got them moving around and doing activities with different people, because quite often, again, you sort of cluster into your little groups and you don't move around a lot. All right, so that still wasn't enough. I said, you know what? With 24 cards and 4 colors, I could use 6 different shapes. And I've used different shapes for different classes. The shapes could be they could be connected to the content. If there was a theme to the workshop or something like that, the shapes could be connected to that. For example, I have a gamification workshop that we do sometimes that has a baseball theme. So these could be a baseball and a baseball bat and whatever. So the shapes could be whatever you want them to be. They don't have to be these shapes. These are just, again, a prototype. But then, because I have 6, I can have people then break out into groups based on the shape. So all the squares go here. All of the hearts go over here. And that breaks me up into another different type of group. And the way the colors and everything are arranged on the cards, it ensures that you get people mixing around and going and working with different people. So tentatively, thanks to my wonderful husband, actually, we've been using the name QuadGroupleCards because there's at least 4 ways that you can mix and match people around. So quad and Gruple, and so that's what we're calling them for right now. I hope you find this helpful. Let me know. And let me know if you try something like this. I love to hear how other people adapt ideas that I share. Again, this one's still a work in progress. I'm still making changes to it, trying it out in different in different types of environments and sessions and things. But I thought it had been road tested enough that I figured I could stop and I could at least give you sort of a general idea of how it works today. So please, in the comments, let me know what you think, and let me know again what all you're doing to make your learning more engaging. And I'll see you next time. Bye.